Look at that. 7 weeks without a haircut. This is why I don't grow up my hair. A double crown just grows like that. I look like a goddamn pigeon. That's why I always wear a hat. Which I don't think's wonky. Was that wonky? As we're all aware, photography, filmmaking, it can all be really expensive, but what you might not know is there's some great equipment that you could pick up for around £50 or less that is essential to your workflow or can really add some creative flair. Everything I'm going to be sharing with you is stuff that I have personally brought and used for photography and filmmaking, and if you want to check out any of it for yourself, links for it all will be in the description below. They are Amazon affiliate links, so I do get a little bit of kickback from that, but it just helps support me as a content creator and also just helps support the channel as well. And finally, if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing and turn on the bell icon so you're notified for whenever I release a new video. It would be deeply appreciated, and maybe go and follow me on Instagram as well, where I upload all my photography, stories, behind the scenes, polls, Q&A, all that great stuff is over there as well. And if we get time at the end of today's video, I will be looking through the hashtag CP photos at a couple of your photographs, but we've got a lot to get through first, so let's finally get started with today's video. Item number 1 is, I forgot, I need to check my notebook. So item number 1, tripods. So there's a number of different tripods I use. The first one is this Manfrotto tripod, and it has this ball head. It's a great tripod to use, great for vlogging. It will even support a Sony a7R IV with a 24-70 f2.8, which is a heavy camera, heavy setup, and it won't topple over. The next one is this Joby 3K tripod. Now technically this costs £56, but you know what, it only goes over the threshold by £6, and there's only a couple items within this list that do that, but I thought it would just be very interesting to throw in there anyway in case anyone's interested. But this is a great tripod to use for vlogging. It is my go-to one. The only thing you have to be careful about is the legs that sometimes fail on you. And my final tripod I use are these K&F concept ones. I've had this one for 3 years and it's never let me down. It's been through knocks, it's been through bangs, everything, and it still works. The next one is this Amazon basic one. You can't see it, it's right here. This one's holding up this blue light. It's a great entry-level tripod if you're just starting out to do photography or video, but if you want something a little bit more sturdy, check out the K&F ones. I love these tripods, so sturdy and just always reliable. Our next item is pretty essential if you're going to be doing any type of video content, and that is a grey card. I use these things all the time if I'm doing talking head like this. The white balance is always set using one of these. I've also used them on film sets, music videos. It just helps dial in the white balance and get it perfect for that shooting situation. Just set it at a 45-degree angle, let your camera set the white balance through its certain system, and you'll get your image looking perfect, and it can completely transform your image. Our next item is a 5-in-1 reflector, and if you don't have one of these, you are missing out. I use these quite a lot now for filmmaking and photography. They are just awesome. I have a couple of 5-in-1 reflectors. I've got a big one right here using some negative fill, so it's taking away some of the light on this side of my face. But then we've got stuff like the silver side, which will add a lot of fill to my face right there. We take it away, we can completely see the difference by just bouncing that light. Inside, we have a diffuser. So if you have a light source that's looking a little bit too harsh, you could just throw that in front of it and it will diffuse the light even further. On the other side, we have this white reflector, which has a lot less throw than the silver side, but I often much prefer using this one as it adds a little bit more of that bounce. It's a lot more subtle, doesn't have that punchiness, and I think gives the most natural look to the visuals. And then finally, we've got this gold side that can have a lot of punchiness to your visuals, but personally, I don't find myself using it that often because I don't like the look of it. It looks very unnaturalistic most of the time, but there is certain applications where this might come in handy. Our next item is a camera flash, and this very flash I have used on all the weddings I have shot. I've used it for formal events, I've used it for Help the Hero events, I've used it for portrait shoots, and this thing costs a fraction of any of the Sony, Canon, Nikon branded flashes. Personally, I don't think there's any point buying flashes at £400, £350 when you can get something that does the job just as well at a fraction of the price. This one does cost about £53, I believe, but honestly, it's worth the extra £3 to go over the budget because you also get a feature that automatically syncs the camera settings to the flash, so the flash will adjust accordingly to get you the right exposure. Our next item can introduce a lot of creativity and a unique look to your visuals, and I used this in my last video to get some cool product shots, and that is a prism. There is so much you can do with these portrait shoots, product shoots, and it can just introduce so much uniqueness into your shots. Next is a camera strap, and the camera strap I always recommend people is this Peak Design one. This is great if you're doing video and photography because you can just take it on and off whenever you want. And for me, who's always changing a setup to be shooting on a gimbal or shooting photography, it's always great to have it detachable so I don't have to unthread it every single time. There is one downside with this camera strap, and I've actually solved it really cleverly. You see right here, I've added these, hopefully it focuses, I've added these bongo ties. Basically, without them, this part right here opens up and it's really annoying when you're walking around. So I just added 2 bongo ties on each part of it, and it's completely removed that problem. But yeah, I would highly recommend this camera strap. It is great. And our next item is just awesome, something any videographer, photographer needs, and I use this very item up until recently for the last 2 years, and that is a camera bag. This thing only cost you £47, and I think it's one of the best camera bags on the market for under £50. There is just so much space. I love the security with this bag as well, that the zips are on the back so no one can get in from the front. Once inside, you have a lot of different spaces to put a lot of different lenses. I've been able to put a 150 to 600mm lens within this bag. I've also got a lot of different compartments for batteries and everything here. Going at the front, I used to be able to put a gimbal in this front compartment right here very easily, and it was just a fantastic all-round camera bag for any shooting scenario if you're doing photography or video. Our next item is for those who are looking at reinforcing their awesome visuals with some great sound, and that is with this video microphone right here. Again, I used this for a solid 3 years up until last week. And I never really saw a point of upgrading from this microphone for a very long time because it just offered me great sound and was exactly what I was looking for. So if you're just starting out and you want your very first microphone that's going to last you for years and years to come, I would highly recommend this mic right here. Our next item involves me taking off one of the lights. Bear with me. Okay, we're really missing out on that blue now. But this light right here is absolutely fantastic. It's called the From Ito. It's the RX8T light. This light is amazing because look at this. It bends. It's like it's got its own built-in barn doors. How awesome is that? And this is a little bit over £50. It's 56, but honestly, it is a fantastic light. You can also power it with either a plug or you can use batteries. You also have this dial here to adjust the brightness as well. I've used this very light as a fill light, a hair light, and also a backlight. If I'm like on the blue void, you will always see me using this light on the background because it's just a solid light. I might be able to use it as a key light. Wait there. I'm going to turn off the key light, and I'm now just going to light myself using this little light right here. And look at that. Wow, that is looking really good. Considering that is just that little light right there, that is looking pretty solid right there. And you can add some further diffusion from this, and that's not even at its brightest setting. That is at its brightest setting. Wow, it's a fantastic little light. Really highly recommend it if you're doing video or anything like that. And the great thing is, if you need to shoot outdoors, you can just put a battery in it. I can't recommend this light enough. It is fantastic. If you're going to get an LED light, I'd also recommend picking up some gels with it so you can change the color of that light. I've got the blue on right now, but in here I've got greens, reds, yellows, the whole lot. And as a background light, it can just completely transform this. I mean, I'll turn both of them off. You'll see how dull the background looks. That is it. Look how boring that looks. Throw these lights back on. It looks awesome. Our next item is something I necessitate as a necessity. Does that make sense? That doesn't make sense. But anyway, it's something that any photographer or videographer should have, and that is a power bank. This thing has saved me in so many different photography and filming scenarios. It charges my Sony batteries, my GoPro batteries, my phone, and it has 20,000 milliamps, so it can do it 4 or 5 times before this thing even goes flat. Trust me on this one. If you haven't got a power bank, grab yourself a power bank. It will save you one day. Our next item is something that is useful for both photographers and videographers, and that is filters. So if you're doing videos, you will need a variable ND filter for shooting outdoors. This is a K&F concept one, cost you about 20 quid. If you're going to be shooting long exposure photography, you probably want to get an ND 10 filter like this one right here. This particular filter is a Gobe filter. Hopefully I am pronouncing that correctly. I'd highly recommend checking out these filters. They're amazing in quality. They're a small business and I'm all for supporting small businesses. And as well, they have an amazing conservation effort where if someone buys any one of their filters, they will plant 3 trees. I think that is a tune we can all sing to. It is amazing to see companies giving it back to our planet, and we can feel great with our purchase knowing that we've helped the planet in some way. And as someone who does like wildlife photography, nature photography, it gets a double thumbs up from me. That is awesome, so really highly recommend Gobe filters. Now the next one is something that I'm actually using on top of the Sony a7R IV right now. Let me just take it off. So the next accessory is this UU Rig mirror, and basically if you have an LCD screen that doesn't come all the way round and it only goes to like a 90-degree angle like this, you can put it on top of the camera and it will show you using this mirror what the camera is seeing. I use it all the time when I'm filming talking head like this because it allows me to see what the camera is seeing, adjust my lighting, adjust my exposure. Honestly, it's a lifesaver, and for £12 I'd highly recommend it. Next is the headphones that I have been using to edit my videos, and I've used these on film sets multiple times. These Audio Technica headphones. I can't stretch them any further because they're attached to the computer. These are the best headphones I have ever had. The quality of these things is amazing, and the best thing is they only cost £40. I did actually change these ear cup things. They come with a lot smaller ones, but I'd highly recommend getting the bigger ones as well because they're a lot more comfy, and I can wear these all day without any pain to my head or anything like that. And the quality from these is just sublime. Honestly, the best headphones I think you can get on the market for 40 quid. Our next item is a little bit different, but can make for some really cool photography and can be great if you're doing some filmmaking, and that is a fog machine. Bet you weren't expecting that one. I'm going to try and plug it in, but there is a fire alarm in this room, and it is student accommodation, so I hope if it does set it off, it doesn't like call the fire brigade immediately. If it does, we'll find out and we can add it into the video. So my window's open. I've got this 5-in-1 reflector to get it away from the fire alarm, and we're ready to go. Now this is obviously way too much fog, but a technique that I've learned to use is to waft it around to make it look like haze. Well, that looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Look at that. Oh, it's so cool. I should have just filmed the whole video using a fog machine. If you're doing filmmaking, there's a couple of different reasons you might want to look at having a fog machine. You can create a certain atmosphere, a certain mood to your shots. You can show certain beams of light and completely change how light looks during a scene. And for 30 quid, you can also create some really cool photography as well. Our next item very quickly is a Lazy Susan. This is a very basic one, but you can get some really cool results using one of these for video. It actually makes me look like a waiter. Which brings me on to my second item, which is a lens mug. Even though it's not a photography or filmmaking accessory, it's something that most photographers should probably get one of at least, because why not? Our next one's a real quick one, and that's a hard drive or memory card. Every photographer, filmmaker needs a hard drive to back up all their great footage and photographs. And finally, of course, is my preset pack that is over on my website for only £10, and you get 12 different presets. I'm going to be working on making some other preset packs in the future, but if you want to check these out, again, link is in the description below, and I'm terribly sorry for the shameless plug. And that is all the items I have to share with you today, but I think we've got a little bit of time to look through the hashtag CP photos. I know because I'm only making a video once a week or once every 2 weeks because of university, but that doesn't mean I'm not looking through the hashtag. I am looking all the time, but honestly, it's university. I'm so busy this time of year. There's so many things I'd love to do, but I'm just busy, so just bear with me. Keep smashing it, keep using that hashtag. I love seeing your work. Just keep on creating, guys, honestly. I love it. Our first photograph today is by Enjoy Visuals. Absolutely love this shot. Love the blue tones. Love the close-up of the wave. Of course, it's Florida as well, so you're getting beautiful blue seas compared to the brown ones we get over here. Love this photograph. Really nice composition. Hopefully you didn't get your camera too wet. Our next photograph today is by John, and I really do like this shot. The only couple of things I would have changed is to make sure the horizon level was straight because it looks a little bit crooked, and also maybe try and shoot it for a 4:5 aspect ratio for Instagram. That would have made this shot a lot better in my mind, would have stood out a little bit, but that's just me. I often now shoot to try and compose for the 4:5 aspect ratio, which is a really bad habit, so I've tried to shoot like a version of like a portrait and landscape now. If that's just me, I think it's just me. And our final photographs today are by Sarah. Absolutely love the compositions and the silhouette on all of these photographs. It just looks like a lot of fun as well. Like, I haven't been on a roller coaster in at least over a year. And that is where I'm going to be leaving today's video. Must say a massive thank you as well, because we recently just went over 9,000 subscribers, which is just bonkers. It's insane. I can't fathom that we've hit such a big number. But the big celebrations aren't going to be until we hit 10,000 subscribers, which is going to be at some point early 2021, and I'm hoping to do something big. But anyway, there's plenty of time to be planning all that out. I'm going to let you get on with your awesome day. Again, massive thank you for watching today's video. If you did like it, make sure you hit the like button, and until next time, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later!